Hi, David Haslet here. Today's good creative work is making some gnomes. So I'm making figures kind of like this or like this, kind of human-ish, but having some exaggerated features. How do you do it? I'm going to start with a ball of clay and I'm going to make it into a circle. I'm going to treat it like a small pinch pot. So I'm going to stick my thumb in the middle and then slowly turn around, turn and pinch between my fingers and my thumb. And to do this face, I'm going to leave a little bit of space at the bottom of this little pinch pot to pull out the nose. So if I start to pull this out this way, I can start to get a nose kind of like this guy, or maybe not quite so long. I'm going to pull this out over here. And then for a lot of my shapes, I actually use a pencil. I believe I've mentioned this before, but pencils are great for a modeling tool. So I've got this regular pencil. And once I've got something straightforward for a nose, again, pulling out from this miniature pinch pot, once I have basically a triangular-ish prism shape here, I can take the pencil, because it's flared out like this, I can just stick it up his nose. And when I do, it brings out the sides. See how that worked right there? See the light? One and two, and it flares out just right for a nose. So that's that. For lips or for eyes, eyelids, what I can do is I can take a little bit of clay and just make a small coil, like a mini coil. I can also just roll it in my hand like this. And when I put it there on the upper lip, I can use my pencil to blend it. So I'm taking the tip and I'm going to roll it right there along the top of that lip. And I'm just going to smooth it like this. That way, do you see how I've got that curve for that upper lip, but the rest of it goes into the face? That's an excellent way a pencil can get into a narrow and hard to reach space. There's that upper lip, and small changes with this can go for all kinds of expressions. So here I've got that one lip curl up, kind of like that, small thing. Let me do a lower lip. I'm probably going to cover this up with a beard since I'm going for a gnome, but I'm going to take another bit of clay and roll it like this, maybe a little bit more on the edges. And I'm going to place this, maybe I'll make it a little smaller, but I'm going to place this right in the middle. And this one I'm making a little bit bigger. Now see here, it sticks out too much. So I'm going to have to use my pencil again here to smooth, this time the bottom. So I'm going to stick it in here and just kind of curl it down, smoothing that base like this, smoothing. I can also take my finger in a little bit of water, which I have here on the side, and just roll that on the outside. And so there's a bit of a mouth. For eyes, I can take my pencil again, make a little bit of an indent pressing inside just like that to go for those eye sockets. Sometimes I'll actually roll an eyeball and put that in the inside and then go for eyelids and top and bottom. I'm going to do that this time. I think I'm just going to go for a top lid. I'm going to dab a little bit of water in there so it stays. I'm going to go for just a top lid. Maybe make some really um, expressive eyebrows. But here I can add pupils just by pressing in with the tip of this pencil again. And that's what I have so far for the face. Eyebrows, another small coil. I'm going to stick it on top. I'm going to have this go over the eye just a little bit, kind of like that. And then use this again to add some dots just to give it a little bit of texture. Because it's an eyebrow, I want it to be known like that shape. Let's go for another one. I just have this small ball of clay over here. I'm just pinching off a little bit and rolling. Sometimes adding a little bit of water on the top to make sure that that eyebrow will stick. Now dots to rough it up, make it kind of chunky. Oh, I missed. Right. Now I'm gonna go for a bit of a beard. So I'm going to use the palm of my hand, roll a coil right here. Let's see. Go over this. I made one the other day that had a really extravagant mustache. I thought that was pretty funny. So here, I've got this coil. I'm going to tip it up a little bit. And then a student requested a monocle on one student, on one of these guys. So I gave him a monocle. I thought that was pretty fun. So here we go. This is a pretty happy gnome. Joy is a good thing. Now I'm going to add a little bit of water here. I'm going to roll out this part of the beard, maybe make it a little bit flatter. I know. A little bit of water. Maybe I'll take a nail and score it. Go back and forth a little bit so it sticks a little bit better. I'm going to place a bit of a beard here, pinch off what I don't need. The great thing about beards, you don't have to worry so much about shape. You know, you've got a lot of flexibility. So here I'm going to go for that. Maybe tip it up a little bit. There we go. So all of this is going from a pinch pot. I'm going to set this down here. I'm going to go for that hat, that telltale gnome hat. So I'm going to take another chunk of clay. I'm going to roll it into a ball, and I'm going to work a pinch pot. I'm right-handed, but I just got used to doing this left-handed. I don't know why, but I'm pinching and turning, leaving it kind of chunky on the bottom so that I can pull it out. And here I did actually dunk my fingers in water to help pull this. It's almost like a pulled handle in pottery throwing. So here I'm going for somewhat of a, oh, it's like a Hershey kiss. Huh. Interesting. I'm going to go for this hat. Each of these have been looking a little bit different, and I'm going to see how it could fit on his head. It's kind of rounded. Got some different forms. I think I'm going to make this wider. I think that'll fit more how wide his mustache is. You know, pieces that we make in art, when they have continuity, when they have things, shapes, forms that are similar, it looks like they fit more. So here, I just flattened it out, widened it out. His mustache flares out like that. So I'm going to try to imitate that with the hat. And I think it's going to go together a little bit better. Yeah, now maybe it needs to be a little bit bigger, but the flaring out nature of the hat, the flaring out of the mustache, and maybe just tipping up his beard a little bit, add some more continuity, this continuing with form and theme, and making it look like it could fit a little bit more. So that's one example of a gnome. Pinch pots, you know, both for the main head and for the hat. And honestly, I'll start with pinch pots for the body too and continue from there. But that's just a start. And there you have it, the beginning of a gnome face.